Welcome, brave souls, to the channel where we dare to tread the shadowy landscapes of cinema. Today, we're not just listing movies, we're plunging headfirst into the abyss of the human psyche, exploring the films that have burrowed their way into our nightmares and refuse to leave. Get ready for a countdown that will test your limits, a journey through the top 30 most disturbing movies ever conceived. Now, let me be unequivocally clear. We're venturing into territory that some might find deeply offensive, psychologically scarring, or simply too much. These aren't your average jump scare flicks. We're talking about films that linger in your mind, that make you question the world around you, and perhaps even your own sanity. Consider this your final warning. If you're easily unsettled, if graphic content makes you queasy, or if you prefer your cinematic experiences on the lighter side, maybe grab a cup of tea and watch a cat video instead. But if you're ready to confront the darkness, let's descend. At number 30, we have a Serbian film, 2010. This isn't just disturbing, it's a cinematic Molotov cocktail thrown into the face of decency. What makes it so potent? Its unflinching and gratuitous depiction of taboo subjects, pushing boundaries so far that it's become a lightning rod for controversy. We're talking about scenes that are designed to shock and repulse, exploring the darkest corners of human exploitation. It's a film that many find unwatchable, and its inclusion here is a testament to its sheer audacity in its disturbing content. Climbing to number 29, we encounter Cannibal Holocaust, 1980. This film, shrouded in controversy upon its release, earned its notoriety for its graphic and seemingly realistic portrayal of violence, presented through the lens of found footage. The unsettling blend of exploitation and documentary-style filmmaking created a truly disturbing experience. Beyond the gore, the film also explores themes of cultural clash and the sensationalism of media, adding another layer to its disturbing impact. And let's not forget the real animal cruelty that still casts a dark shadow over its legacy. Ascending to number 28 is the French extremity film, Martyrs, 2008. Don't let the initial slow burn fool you. This film escalates into a brutal and emotionally draining exploration of suffering. It delves into the philosophical and almost spiritual aspects of pain, pushing its characters and the audience to their absolute limits. The final act is particularly harrowing, leaving a lingering sense of unease and prompting questions about the very nature of human experience. At number 27, we have the raw and visceral I Spit on Your Grave, 1978, and its equally disturbing remakes. This film taps into a primal fear, presenting a graphic and often uncomfortable depiction of sexual assault, followed by an equally brutal act of revenge. It's a film that sparks intense debate about exploitation versus empowerment, but its disturbing nature, particularly for survivors of sexual violence, is undeniable. Crawling to number 26 is the infamous The Human Centipede first sequence, 2009. The very premise of this film is enough to churn stomachs. The surgical creation of a human centipede is a body horror concept so grotesque and bizarre that it has cemented its place in disturbing cinema history. It's a film that relies more on its shocking concept than outright gore in some parts, but the sheer idea is enough to leave a lasting, unpleasant impression. Reaching number 25, we encounter the controversial masterpiece, Salo, or the 120 Days of Sodom, 1975. Based on the Marquis de Sada's work, this film is a relentless and disturbing exploration of power, corruption, and the systematic degradation of human beings. Its graphic depictions of sexual violence, torture, and excrement are not meant for entertainment, but rather as a bleak and unsettling commentary on fascism and the abuse of power. It remains one of the most banned and debated films ever made. At number 24, we enter the realm of torture porn with Hostel, 2005. This film, from the mind of Eli Roth, takes the concept of extreme violence and makes it the central attraction. The prolonged and graphic scenes of torture and mutilation are designed to shock and elicit a visceral reaction from the audience. It's a film that revels in its brutality and has become a defining example of the genre. Moving to number 23, we have Lars von Trier's deeply unsettling Antichrist, 2009. This is not just a film about horror, it's a descent into madness and the dark side of human nature. The film is filled with disturbing imagery, including graphic depictions of sexual violence, self-mutilation, and the unraveling of sanity. It's a challenging and often repulsive film that explores themes of grief, guilt, and the inherent darkness within us. Moving to number 23, we have Lars von Trier's deeply unsettling Antichrist, 2009. This is not just a film about horror, it's a descent into madness and the dark side of human nature. The film is filled with disturbing imagery, including graphic depictions of sexual violence, self-mutilation, and the unraveling of sanity. It's a challenging and often repulsive film that explores themes of grief, guilt, and the inherent darkness within us. Reaching number 21, we find a devastatingly realistic Requiem for a Dream, 2000. This film isn't about monsters or supernatural threats. It's about the very real and terrifying monster of addiction. The unflinching and heartbreaking portrayal of the physical and psychological toll of drug abuse is deeply disturbing, showcasing the loss of hope and the descent into despair. It's a cautionary tale that leaves a lasting impact. At number 20, we have the unflinching war drama Come and See, 1985. This isn't your typical Hollywood war movie. It's a brutal and visceral depiction of the horrors of war as seen through the eyes of a young boy in Belarus during World War II. The film doesn't shy away from the atrocities committed, leaving the viewer with a profound sense of the senselessness and brutality of conflict. The sheer realism and the young protagonist's descent into trauma make this a deeply disturbing experience. Moving to number 19, we have the chillingly prophetic Threads, 1984. This British television film offers a grim and terrifyingly realistic portrayal of the aftermath of a nuclear war in Britain. Unlike many post-apocalyptic films, Threads focuses on the societal collapse, the long-term effects of radiation, and the sheer bleakness of survival in a world irrevocably changed. Its stark realism and lack of sensationalism make it incredibly disturbing. At number 18, we delve into the surreal with David Lynch's Eraserhead, 1977. This isn't a film you watch for a straightforward narrative. It's a nightmarish and deeply unsettling journey into the subconscious. The bizarre imagery, the industrial soundscape, and the overall sense of unease create a truly disturbing and unforgettable cinematic experience. It's a film that gets under your skin and stays there. Reaching number 17, we have the classic that still haunts our nightmares, The Exorcist, 1973. What makes this film so enduringly disturbing is its blend of graphic practical effects and psychological horror. The depiction of demonic possession, the unsettling makeup, and the exploration of faith and evil continue to terrify audiences decades later. It's a film that taps into primal fears and remains a benchmark for disturbing cinema. At number 16, we encounter the deceptive nature of Audition, 1999. This Japanese film lulls you into a false sense of romantic comedy before taking a sharp and brutal turn into psychological horror and graphic violence. The final act is particularly disturbing, showcasing a level of obsessive madness and torture that is both shocking and unforgettable. Cracking the top 15 at number 15 is David Cronenberg's hallucinatory Naked Lunch, 1991. Adapting William S. Burroughs' famously experimental novel, Cronenberg unleashes a barrage of grotesque body horror and surreal, drug-induced imagery. The film blurs the lines between reality and hallucination, creating a deeply unsettling and often bizarre viewing experience that will leave you questioning what you just witnessed. At number 14, we have the chillingly realistic Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, 1986. This film stands out for its unflinching and almost documentary-like portrayal of a serial killer. There's no glamour, no sensationalism, just a cold and disturbing look at the banality of evil. The film's matter-of-fact depiction of violence makes it all the more unsettling. Coming in at number 13 is Andrei Zulawski's intensely psychological Possession, 1981. This film is a fever dream of fractured relationships, paranoia, and possible demonic influence. Isabelle Adjani's performance is nothing short of mesmerizing and terrifying, and the film's overall atmosphere of dread and unease, culminating in some truly bizarre and disturbing imagery, makes it a unique and unforgettable horror experience. At number 12, we encounter the raw and iconic The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Despite its relatively low gore factor compared to modern horror, this film's disturbing nature lies in its gritty realism and the sheer sense of dread and claustrophobia it creates. The portrayal of a cannibalistic family in the desolate Texas countryside feels genuinely terrifying and has influenced countless horror films since. Moving to number 11 is the brutal French home invasion film Inside, 2007. This film is a relentless and incredibly violent showdown between two women, one of whom is heavily pregnant. The sheer intensity and graphic nature of the violence, particularly the stakes involving the unborn child, make this a truly disturbing and difficult watch for many. Cracking the top 10 at number 10, we have Gaspar Noé's visually and narratively challenging Irreversible, 2002. This film is infamous for its brutal and realistic depiction of violence, including a graphic and prolonged scene of sexual assault. Presented in reverse chronological order, the film creates a sense of inevitability and despair, making the disturbing events even more impactful and difficult to process. At number 9, we have the subtly unsettling Come True, 2020. While not relying on excessive gore, this film delves into the disturbing world of dreams and nightmares. Its Lynchian atmosphere, combined with unsettling imagery and a pervasive sense of dread, creates a deeply disturbing experience that lingers in your mind long after the credits roll. It taps into the primal fear of the unknown within our own minds. Number 8 belongs to the bleak and brutal Eden Lake, 2008. This British film taps into a very real and disturbing fear, the capacity for extreme violence in seemingly ordinary individuals, particularly teenagers. The film's relentless tension and the feeling of utter helplessness as a couple is terrorized by a group of sadistic youths make it a truly disturbing and uncomfortable watch. Coming in at number 7 is Lars von Trier's controversial The House That Jack Built, 2018. This film is disturbing not just for its graphic depictions of violence committed by a serial killer, but also for its darkly comedic and philosophical approach. It forces the audience to confront uncomfortable questions about art, morality, and the nature of evil, making it a deeply unsettling and thought-provoking experience. At number 6, we have Darren Aronofsky's intensely allegorical Mother, 2017. This film is disturbing on a psychological and thematic level. Its chaotic and often overwhelming portrayal of anxiety, obsession, and the destructive nature of humanity leaves viewers deeply unsettled and open to a multitude of interpretations, many of them deeply disturbing. Entering the top 5 at number 5 is the Hitchcockian masterpiece, Psycho, 1960. While perhaps not as overtly graphic as some of the more modern entries, Psycho remains profoundly disturbing for its shocking twist, the unsettling and complex character of Norman Bates, and its exploration of psychological instability and repressed desires. It redefined horror and continues to send shivers down spines. Just outside the top 3 at number 4 is the chillingly intelligent Silence of the Lambs, 1991. This film is disturbing for its masterful portrayal of Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant but utterly terrifying cannibalistic serial killer. The psychological games he plays with Clarice Starling, combined with the film's overall atmosphere of suspense and dread, make it a truly unsettling and unforgettable cinematic experience. Just outside the top 3 at number 4 is the chillingly intelligent Silence of the Lambs, 1991. This film is disturbing for its masterful portrayal of Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant but utterly terrifying cannibalistic serial killer. The psychological games he plays with Clarice Starling, combined with the film's overall atmosphere of suspense and dread, make it a truly unsettling and unforgettable cinematic experience. Just outside the top 3 at number 4 is the chillingly intelligent Silence of the Lambs, 1991. This film is disturbing for its masterful portrayal of Hannibal Lecter, a brilliant but utterly terrifying cannibalistic serial killer. The psychological games he plays with Clarice Starling, combined with the film's overall atmosphere of suspense and dread, make it a truly unsettling and unforgettable cinematic experience. And finally, at number 1, the movie we've crowned as the most disturbing on our list is Stanley Kubrick's chilling masterpiece, The Shining, 1980. This film is a masterclass in psychological horror, creating a pervasive atmosphere of isolation, madness, and impending doom. Jack Torrance's descent into insanity, combined with the film's iconic and deeply unsettling imagery, has cemented its place as one of the most disturbing and influential horror films ever made. It's a film that gets under your skin and stays there, long after the final, haunting shot. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into the top 30 most disturbing movies. This journey into the darker corners of cinema has been intense, and I commend you for sticking with me. Remember, this list is subjective, and what chills one person to the bone might not affect another. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these films have you seen? Which ones left you the most disturbed? And are there any films you think we missed that deserve a spot on this list? Let's get the conversation going in the comments below. But maybe take a moment to compose yourself first. If you braved this unsettling countdown and found it even remotely interesting, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the fascinating and sometimes terrifying world of film, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into cinematic darkness.